the topic of my the title, I sort of fussed with it a little bit at the last minute, and I'm interested in the concept of pursuing good AGI, and I'll explain what I mean by that. Artificial general intelligence that can care about humans and really care about life and the future of life, that can understand and evolve autonomously, and also seek to help us to evolve, help life to adapt. It really needs to have a good sense of what it means to be alive. And I think for that, you need bio-inspired AI. And I would say humanistic. We sometimes talk about like how dangerous it is to humanize our AI or use our data or make it too human-like. But actually, I think what we want to do is look at the best that we can be, not even the best that we've been. We want to learn from the best that we've been so far, but we want to say, how can we be better than we've ever been? How can that version of humanity be brought into existence? And I think AI symbiotically working with humans can lead to these kinds of changes. So pursuing good AGI via bio-inspired, breathing life into humanistic AI with embodiment. And the embodiment is very important for the AI to learn from the physical world through its own experiences. So I'm David Hanson. I founded Hanson Robotics. I made a whole lot of robots that I'll show you to you. I've got a background in AI and robotics, the visual arts, neuroscience, and I weave all these threads together to make these kinds of robots that are multi-purpose, but really where they work is connecting with people. So you can see here that when we track somebody's face motion and we mimic with a little adaptation, that it creates a really powerful impression, an impression of life and awareness. And for me, this is a work of art as well as a philosophical exploration. It's a platform for artificial intelligence development and also for utility to help people by generalizing robots. And it's an evolving art. So meaning that these human-like robots like I created didn't exist exactly like this 20 years ago. And there were humanoid robots, but humanoid robots are changing. And just like computer animation evolved over the last 40 years, this is physically embodied computer animation now powered by AI, an interface for AI to interact with people. So this idea of humanizing AI and robotics is also letting us, through the art, the science fiction of it, explore the prospects of humanity merging with our machines, and exploring the consequences of this for a good future and a perilous, possibly perilous future. Through the arts, a kind of physically embodied science fiction, but also through the actualization of this. And AI exists in our world. You all know that it's around you all the time. 15 years ago, a lot of people would have been surprised to hear that there was AI like in the control systems for cars and running the internet. But these days, everybody knows it. Why? Because progress is just exploding, which was predicted many years ago by scientists like the mathematician I.J. Good and Feynman and many others. But the presence of robots in our homes and robots powered by AI now in our factories, sensing and dynamically adapting to creating things like our cars, and the cars themselves now being powered by AI, and then the data from those cars driving on the roads training even smarter AI to create even smarter kinds of machines like Tesla's Optimus. And so lots of these kinds of machines are coming. The process of evolution hasn't stopped. And I think of this as an extension of biological evolution, just going in faster and faster cycles. And I want you to just consider the prospect that this is part of the unfolding of our cosmos. We are part of the cosmos. This process is now going into new phases of natural history. And when we see these robots looking like humans, let's see if I can get that. This video might actually play, or might not. Okay, it looks like it's not playing.
There's a new
Oh yeah, there it
humanoid
goes.
robot in town, and it moves like a contortionist RoboCop. Today, we're going to take a look at Boston
So you
Dynamics'
can
next generation
see
Atlas
these.
robot. And
I'm
see
just
how
gonna go quickly because we're running short on time. A lot of humanoid robots are out there, and we're starting to see a massive set of changes in the capabilities of humanoid robots because of artificial intelligence, improvements in actuators, improvements in battery life, improvements in sensing. And these didn't just start this year. I mean, a lot of these robots were unveiled just this year or recently, but these kinds of robots have been evolving a little bit slower than now, but continuously evolving over the last few years. Um, However, what you see common with these robots on the screen, they're all general purpose utility robots designed to be controlled by AI, but they're lacking that human connection. And that's really one of the points I want to make is that when these robots are pervading our world, when they're getting out there, we don't want to see them if they're becoming genuinely intelligent, if they, we're tinkering with the machine consciousness. I don't want to see them be alien slaves working for us. I don't think that that's going to go well for humanity, actually. It's not potentially, it's highly unethical. And I want us to relate with the AI and robots. I want us to train that AI to understand us. I want us to be inspired to raise the AI among humans in a way that it can learn to be friendly and good, where we form this mutual respect. If this happens more slowly than some people predict, even if maybe in the next 15 years machines don't become conscious, we become better for practicing empathy, for practicing kindness. And if the machines give us that practice, then we don't lose our humanity as we're going into an era that is increasingly mechanized and automated. So one way or the other, I believe that this kind of human-like robot, what Sophia represents, can be very good for humanity, but it's very rare in the world. So we're bringing this kind of personality to robotics, and that's what distinguishes us among other things. So one of the principles here is that human-like interactions are actually really good for people, and can also train smarter AI that can be even better for people. So that gets to this question. I've kind of danced around it. Why humanistic AI? Let me just give a quick summary of my main thesis points, which are robots and AI. They're not human, but they can be human inspired. We can make biologically inspired machines, and that is a valid line of research. They don't have to be entirely biologically derived, but they can be human inspired. This can help people. It can help the AI to learn and grow among people in the world, bond with people, and it can also help us artistically, philosophically, and scientifically understand what it means to be human. And so this gives us a tool for exploring things like computational models of cognition while interacting with people. So I think of this principle as humanistic AI for a better future. So I'm an artist, I'm an inventor. I worked for Disney Imagineering. I have a degree in film, animation, video. I have a PhD in aesthetics studies, of the hybrid of neuroscience, arts and humanities, and computer science, doing AI and robots, inventing materials, bringing a bunch of. Thank you so much. Hopefully the internet won't drop out again. So so sorry for the interruption. Um uh The robots that you see here include the android portrait of Philip K. Dick, made in 2005, which could have a full conversation and express a full range of facial expressions, and was powered by a large language model, early large language model, using a technology called latent semantic indexing. So you could do open conversation. It won a first place prize for open interaction in 2005. The walking Albert Einstein robot, the Bina 48 robot, many humanoid robots. So the Sophia platform, which we created to standardize this, but also become a kind of character, an emissary, if you will, for the future of AI and robots, was the convergence point and beneficiary of the technologies developed and the artistry and craft developed in these many early robots. And so most of these early ones especially started as a clay sculpture, and then I would do a reverse engineering on the person's facial expressions. This is Albert Einstein, by the way. What I estimated he would look like without his mustache, if you shaved his mustache and eyebrows and hair. And then looking at photographs of his facial expressions, I was deriving what a subsurface cellular structure would be like. And I also looked at the cellular structure of facial soft tissues, which are, fluid-filled elastomeric matrices. And I created a self-assembling porous polysiloxane elastomer that I called Frebber. And I would cast that around these anchor points, and then that's what generated the facial expressions like this, which was 2005. That's lightweight, low power, full range, simulating every major muscle in the face, and able to then be lightweight enough to go on a full-scale walking android. You can see this was the Hubo from Keist, was the walking body. And we actually hooked this up to a conversational physics tutorial system from the University of Memphis. So Sophia is then the descendant of these robots. And she's a celebrity. She's been featured in a lot of news media, social media, talk shows, and this kind of thing. She's got a lot of followers, like 1.25 million followers, and we develop her as a character, and we prime and prompt the AI to behave like that character. But she's also a bio-inspired AI platform. But we receive a lot of fan mail and a lot of word that she's been, an inspiration, especially for young women working in science. She's the beneficiary also of a pretty good team. More than 50% of the people who've worked on her have been women working on her, developing her personality, her AI, and so forth. She's a full-featured AI platform with sensors that can guide her autonomous navigation. She's got a full mobile base, hands that and arms that move. We made those open source under what we call Sophia's Open Arms. This was actually a paper published with an intern who's now at Berkeley as an undergrad, but before that she was in high school. And she and our team made great progress. She was working on control systems, and Gerardo Morales was the main engineer working on the mechanical systems. But this is a fully open source set of arms, and you can see here some of the capabilities, drawing and so forth. Then we've also been working on walking legs. You can see here an older version based on the Hubo legs, and then a later version that's more human-like that we now have, that we're developing. We put all of these things together with multiple different kinds of artificial intelligence too, that can do body control, hands and arm control, and perception, of course, conversational intelligence, and representation of self versus other. We have a neuro-symbolic hybrid. So in other words, we use the latest in neural networks and transformers, but we also do some symbolic representation and knowledge graphs, and formal reasoning. We put these things together to do artistic interactions with people, therapeutic interactions, drawing, all in one integrative platform with an SDK, almost all open source. And so we collaborate with universities around the world. And I'd just like to call attention to the team. These are a few of the team members. So it's not just a diverse set of robots, but a pretty diverse set of people who come from all around the world. We have collaborators and team members from every populated continent. And so I think that kind of diversity and inclusion becomes really important, especially if you're going to address these form, multiplex kinds of applications. So I'm interested in how humanoid robots can be a general purpose platform. That's been our design all along, and it's really nice to see AI becoming more generalized and people envisioning these kinds of applications. We did deploy a lot of these robots, like elder care. This one in Amsterdam won an award that was in collaboration with the Vrije University. The autism therapy robots, which was research that I did while I was still a PhD student and shortly after, and then that became its own company, resulted in quite a few publications and sales of these robots to autism treatment centers around the world. This guided meditation therapy lowered blood pressure, decreased heart rate, improved their reported sense of well-being, was more effective than a human in the control experiment. Because people felt judged by the human, but not by the robot. And so that's very interesting. We also developed a virtual version. This one we have in progress. We're going to deploy this soon. So a virtual version that would be an open simulator and open source platform that democratizes the AI and robotics, because the humanoid robots like Sophia actually do, I mean, they cost a lot because we're putting state-of-the-art sensors and computing and a whole lot of actuators and so forth in these robots. We're also using the generative stuff to develop Sophia as an artwork and also to generate artwork. And then we fund a lot of the AI development by the sales of this. We've created this custom Mika robot. So this is another version of Sophia. We've made 59 units of the derived from the Sophia standard platform. Mika, Grace, a robot called Jules and Jules 2 and Han and a few others. Sophia then is a symbol for this idea of humanizing robots and was selected as a United Nations Innovation Champion. And so we've had good fortune to win some awards and collaborate with a lot of really interesting people. But the key thing for me is in this world of AI, what are these robots going to be? Are they going to care about us or are they not? And so humanizing these robots, I think, is really important for the symbiotic co-evolution with our machines. The fourth industrial revolution is about the convergence of AI and other technologies with biology, including human beings ourselves. And we're starting to see a lot of radical transformation happen. And so I want us to think about what happens if these are true living machines. And instead of avoiding that or debating whether we should or not, we should just say, okay, maybe it is going to happen. And what do we want that to be? Can we make these kinds of machines really good? So I propose that we take this kind of holistic perspective and we look at the idea of generalizing AI and robotics specifically to help, questing towards these maximally useful, creative, lovable machines that are also capable of love. And so, I think of this as a global artificial intelligence alliance. If we are working towards this common goal, Gaia, where we all come together to achieve this. And so that's a bit about my work and vision for the future. And I don't know if we have time, but I could take a couple of questions if you like.
Thank you so much, David. That was amazing. And thank you for rejoining after the internet went down. So